Ayman Khan here, 4 seconds out with the Sun columnist Colin Hart. Colin, pleasure to see you once again at these big events. How are you doing, sir?
It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm doing great.
Good to see you doing well in the year. Colin, let's start off straight at the top of the tree. Artem Tobiev versus Dmitry Bivol finally going to be happening, and for the undisputed titles as well too. Great to see this type of fight get over the line.
So I've already described it as the aliphasia of the light heavyweight division. What a perfect matchup. Two great fighters coming together, and no one can be sure who's going to win. Unusual in this day and age. It's what I would call a pick-em fight.
Where does your favour lie, having watched the two's careers and recent performances as well? Who would you lie as the favourite in the fight?
Well, I don't know who's going to be favoured with the bookmakers. What I will say is that Beterbiev is more of a fighter than a boxer, although I'm not decrying his boxing ability. Bivol is a pure boxer, and usually it is the boxer who beats the fighter. So I think if I had anything to do with it, I would make Bivol a slight favourite.
We're talking about being in unprecedented days, and whilst we haven't got the full announcement just yet, Colin, we have Matchroom versus Queensberry, two promoters coming together to create big fights. Are we in unprecedented days here of these two promoters who used to be rivals, used to maybe not be willing to do business, now willing to do the business to make the fights?
Oh, it's wonderful for boxing, for the fighters, for the fans. I never expected to see this. As you know, I've been around this business for 60 years. I've never known anything like, look, Arum and King, deadly rivals in America, did occasionally combine to produce a show, but it was a one-off. This looks like it could be a long, very lucrative arrangement.
Watching the two promoters as they've progressed, have you seen over the years similarities between Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn? Have you seen much of those, and have you seen maybe Eddie grow into a similar character like Frank?
Well, when Frank Warren first started 40-odd years ago, he was young, ambitious, and obviously enthusiastic. The same could be applied. Description could be applied to Eddie. When he started, he was young, ambitious, and obviously wanted to do even better than his very successful father, Barry. So there are similarities between the two.
How long do you expect this relationship to last, though?
Well, how long is a piece of string? I have no idea. I hope it lasts forever, but, nothing lasts forever.
I want to get your thoughts on a couple of other things. First of all, Tyson Fury held a press conference in Morecambe ahead of the fight with Fury. He looked lean. He looked in good shape heading into the Usyk fight. Do you feel that a lean Fury is the key to beating Usyk?
Well, if he's anything like he was against Nagano, it could be disaster for him. I was away in Australia last week, so I didn't see the press conference, the film of it, and I certainly wasn't there. But obviously, a fit Fury, having taken off the weight he must have put on since his last fight, can only be beneficial for him.
There are those who have questioned Tyson Fury's resume and said, I think Barry McGuigan in his latest column with the Mirror said Tyson Fury's resume isn't up there. He's beaten only one great fighter in the form of Klitschko and doesn't count the two Wilder victories as great wins because Wilder isn't a great. Do you agree? Do you think there are doubts over Fury's resume?
Well, obviously, I have a feeling, personally, that Tyson Fury is now in decline because he's 35. He's been doing this for 15 years. Those 3 fights with Wilder is maybe showing up in his abilities now. Maybe the effects of them are having a bad effect on Tyson. We'll know, of course, whether that's true on May 18.
With Tyson somewhat stalling against Francis Ngannou, though getting the victory, were you suitably impressed by Anthony Joshua in knocking out Ngannou? No,
I was impressed with the way he finished it. I wrote in my column in The Sun that what Fury did against Ngannou, Joshua wasn't going to be that man. He was going to destroy Ngannou quickly. I said before 5 rounds. I didn't expect it to be as quick, but it didn't surprise me in the slightest. He did what Fury should have done.
There are those now in the industry that say that if Joshua and Fury were ever to meet, that Joshua would be the heavy favourite now because, like you mentioned, maybe the feeling that Fury's in decline and Joshua is in the resurgence off the back of those comeback wins. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, a lot's going to happen before, if they meet. And when they meet, may not be till next year. So, you know, it would be beneficial for Fury to get that fight on as quickly as possible.
Do you feel the inclusion of Big John Fury into the camp for this one might help stop that decline that you maybe feel is happening with Fury heading into the Usyk fight?
I don't think that'll have any effect whatsoever. It's what's in a man's legs that count. And, you know, his father can't put steel in the legs if the legs are going.
I did say that to Tyson. I said, do you think you'll have to revert to that back foot style? It's still in you to bring out that back foot style if you need to in that Usyk fight. And he said, look, maybe I'm a little bit old. Maybe I can't do that anymore. Is that a worry for you that, look, if it's a front forward Fury, it's good and effective, but not effective against Usyk as the back foot style of Fury once was?
Well, as I said, I think he's in decline to what he was because he's 35. He's been doing this for 15 years. Those 3 fights with Wilder may well now be taking effect. All those things you've got to weigh up. That's why I'm not come out with 100% yet, but my feeling is do not be surprised if Usyk wins.
Whilst we have Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren at the table, Ben Shalom seems to be isolated and frozen out at the moment. There's not much inclusion with Top Rank at the moment either. Do you feel there's room at the table there for these big fights to happen to include more of Top Rank fights and Ben Shalom's boxers fighters?
Well, actually, you know, Britain has the monopoly of the top heavyweights, which has never happened before in my boxing lifetime or in my lifetime. It was always America, America, America. Now, America are bereft of heavyweights. I watched Jared Anderson the other night win the most boring 10-round fight against a Belgian, who is actually from Ivory Coast. Mayer, I think he's saying.
Yeah, Mayer, yeah.
Mayer, who didn't want to fight anyway. But Jared Anderson, who is America's best prospect, doesn't impress me in the slightest.
Lastly, Conor, I wonder, have you seen the latest development with Conor Benn? It seems that he's lost the appeal and it's a further stumbling block for him to return back to the ring in the UK. Maybe his fight future is over in America for now. Have you seen the reports and what do you think about the next step for Benn?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get into the legalities of it all. It's been going on now for getting on 18 months to 2 years. I mean, if he's banned in Britain, he's banned, as far as I'm concerned, in the rest of the world.
Colin, a pleasure to get your thoughts. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out, sir. Very much speak to you soon.
My pleasure. As always, my pleasure.